Do you believe that a single careless word can turn your whole life upside down? Have you ever spoken out in anger, only to later hold your head in regret, wishing you could take it back? A seemingly harmless sentence can cost you friendships, hurt your loved ones, or even make you miss the most valuable opportunities in life. Words, they may not be as sharp as a blade, but they can leave wounds deeper than any cut. You're watching one Dharma teaching each day, where a single teaching can sow the seed of a peaceful life. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss a new life principle each day. The ancients once warned, disaster comes from the mouth. Illness enters through the mouth. This isn't just a saying, it's a principle of survival. In Buddhist teachings, verbal karma, speech karma, is one of the three fundamental forms of karma: body, speech, mind. You may not act, but the moment you speak, you've already planted a karmic seed. Confucianism teaches, be cautious in speech before taking action. And Lao Tzu once said, those who know speak little, those who speak much may not know. This isn't coincidence. Words not only shape relationships, but also shape fate. Imagine this. If every word you speak carries a specific energy, then what are you planting into this world? Healing or harm? You are watching a video that might change the way you speak and the way you live. We will explore, why does speech have such a profound impact on personal destiny? What did ancient Eastern philosophies say about the consequences of negative speech? And how can we develop the silent power of virtuous speech? Sometimes a timely word can be the bridge that leads you to a better, happier, and more blessed life. Verbal karma might sound abstract, but it is something that happens in our lives every single day. When you speak with curses, complaints, gossip, or jealousy, you're not only hurting others, you're also poisoning yourself. Because words don't disappear after being spoken. They generate a vibrational energy that spreads into your chi field, the living energy field surrounding every person. In Eastern energy studies, negative speech is like a dark dust clinging to your life force, causing stagnation, obstacles, emotional instability, and a sense of mental blockage. On the other hand, kind, sincere, and supportive words radiate warmth, calming your heart, sharpening your mind, and inviting luck. A person who constantly complains, blames, or speaks with pessimism will feel life growing heavier not because of bad luck, but because their own speech is attracting those very outcomes. There is a story in ancient Chinese culture. A high official named Yan Ying was often insulted, but always remained calm, never argued, never retaliated. In the end, his restraint protected national dignity, earned the people's respect, and secured his place in court. Now imagine you're a business owner. A team member constantly speaks negatively, doubts others, and discourages the team during meetings. No matter how talented they are, would you want to keep them? Verbal karma isn't superstition. It's karma in its most subtle form, sowed through speech, reaped through fate. Since ancient times, the three great schools of Eastern thought, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, have all placed speech at the heart of personal cultivation and destiny. In Buddhism, verbal karma is one of the three essential karmas: body, speech, mind. The Buddha taught that speech is an action that can create karma just like physical deeds. Practitioners must train in right speech, to speak truthfully, kindly, usefully, and at the right time. Because a single cruel word can destroy years of cultivation and cause immense harm. Confucius emphasized the importance of caution in speech. Be cautious in what you say before you act. Words reflect one's character. They are the ruler of one's inner strength. A noble person speaks little but with weight, and keeps their word because speech reveals whether the heart is truly cultivated. In Taoism, Lao Tzu offers profound insight. Those who know speak little. Those who speak much may not know. For him, words should flow like water, gentle, humble, and non-contentious. The quieter one becomes, the closer they are to the Tao. Three philosophies, three perspectives, but all lead to one truth. Speech is not just communication. It is the imprint of one's destiny. Speaking well doesn't make one wise, but knowing when not to speak, that is true wisdom. Look at a true leader. They may not say much, but every word hits its mark. That's the power of speech forged through wisdom and inner discipline. In Buddhism, there's an eternal principle to guide our speech, the three conditions of pure speech. Tam Ten Ho. These are three questions that can completely change how we communicate. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Pause before you speak. Ask, is this really true? If you're not sure, silence is better. Then ask, even if it's true, will this bring good, or is it just to criticize, judge, or hurt someone? And finally, even if what you're about to say is both true and kind, ask yourself, is it necessary to say it at this moment? Truth without kindness is cruelty. Kindness without necessity is excess. Necessity without truth is deception. Only when speech meets all three criteria can it be called a word of wisdom. The three conditions of pure speech, tam, tian, kal, do not require you to remain silent forever. They guide you to speak less, but deeper with more meaning and more healing power. For example, when a friend makes a mistake, instead of criticizing them immediately, you can choose to speak gently, at the right time, and with the sincere intention to help them grow. That is how you apply tam, tian, kal. We cannot control what others say, but we can master our own words. And if each person upheld tam, tian, kal, the world would suffer far fewer wounds. Not every word should be spoken. Some words may seem harmless but actually carry destructive energy, deeply affecting one's vitality and blessings. Below are 8 types of speech you should absolutely avoid if you truly want to preserve virtuous speech and transform your fate. Words of complaint. Complaining about others, life, or fate. Every complaint connects you to negative energy, pulling your personal energy down. Words of arrogance. Boastful, condescending speech. Arrogance erodes virtue and makes one vulnerable when fortune shifts. Words of deceit. Even small lies break trust. Habitual lying breeds inner unrest and slowly erodes your credibility. Slander and division. Words that sow discord. Even spoken behind someone's back, the energy of division will return to isolate you and harm your relationships. Curses and oaths. Extreme speech with heavy energy. A curse, even in anger, creates dark vibrations that affect both spirit and body. Words of despair, pessimistic, hopeless talk. This is like self-cursing. Constant negativity leads to depression and inner loss. Words of ingratitude. Denying past kindness or turning against old bonds. This quickly severs your blessings and blocks future opportunities. Boastful words. Seemingly harmless, but they leak your spiritual energy. Boasting breeds arrogance, and arrogance is the seed of downfall. Each of these forms of speech is like a scratch on your personal energy field. The more you speak them, the weaker your energy becomes. If you don't stop in time, the consequences can last a lifetime. So, cultivating speech begins first with avoiding harmful words, and only then with learning to speak the right ones. Every word you speak, whether gentle or harsh, carries a specific energetic vibration. This is not superstition, it's a truth recognized both in Eastern energy studies and modern psychology. Eastern energy wisdom believes every person has a chi field, an energy field surrounding the body. Speech is one of the most influential factors in shaping and altering this field. Kind, sincere, and uplifting speech generates soft, gentle vibrations that stabilize your chi, sharpen your mind, and open your heart. Those who speak positively often radiate pleasant energy, attracting cooperation, closeness, and support from others. In contrast, cruel, bitter, and aggressive speech, even if said in jest, creates sharp, cutting waves of energy. These vibrations tear through the energy field, causing internal chaos and emotional pressure for both the speaker and the listener. You've likely felt this. Ever been near someone who constantly complains, blames, or criticizes? Within minutes, you feel drained, sluggish, or even have a headache. That's because their chi field emits a low frequency, and you are absorbing that. Conversely, some people speak very little, but every word is gentle, uplifting, and inspiring. After talking with them, you feel lighter, clearer, and warmer inside. That's the effect of positive energy waves through words. This explains why, in many cultures, people believe in the power of blessings and prayers, because words carry energy, and that energy has the ability to transform destiny. No one is born perfect. All of us, to some extent, have made mistakes with our words. But what matters is not what you've said in the past, but whether you are awakened enough now to change. Keeping virtuous speech doesn't mean silencing yourself. It means expanding your inner awareness to listen before you speak, to understand before you express. It's about learning to use words to heal, not to harm. On the path of self-cultivation, the mouth is the easiest place to generate karma because it's fast, convenient, and hard to control. But precisely because of that, if you can master your words, you can also master many other things: your emotions, your relationships, and even your fate. A wise person is not someone who always says the right thing, but someone who knows when not to speak. Who knows when to stop before saying something harmful? Who knows how to stay silent when silence carries more value than any words? Becoming mindful of speech is like holding up a mirror to your inner self. When you start observing the way you speak each day, you'll begin to see many internal patterns. Limiting beliefs, judgmental habits, short tempers, lack of patience. And once you see them, you can begin to transform. The habit of speaking gently and calmly is not a sign of weakness, it is a mark of inner strength. A person with strong inner energy doesn't need to shout, argue, or speak excessively. They speak just enough and with depth. Start today. Before saying anything, pause for one breath. Ask yourself, will this create karma? Will this hurt anyone? Will this help me become a better person? To guard your speech is to guard your destiny. And destiny always begins with the smallest things, like the way you say even a single sentence each day. If words are seeds sown into the soil of destiny, then there are 3 kinds of seeds worth planting daily. Gentleness, sincerity, compassion. Gentleness means speaking in a soft, non-attacking way. It's not weakness, but wisdom, knowing how to calm hearts with your tone. A single gentle word can turn an enemy into a friend if you're soft enough in your expression. The more mature a person is, the more they know. Speak softly, so others can hear more deeply. Sincerity means speaking from the heart, no pretense, no sugarcoating. Sincere words build trust and forge real connections. Even when not eloquent, they often move people the most because truth has its own power. Compassion means speaking with love and support. Not pity, but the wish for others to be safe and happy. When you speak with compassion, you plant warmth in others' hearts and your own heart is warmed in return. You can start from the smallest actions. Instead of sharply pointing out someone's fault, speak with gentleness. Instead of complaining, share what you're grateful for. Instead of staying silent in anger, say honestly, I'm feeling sad. Each of these seeds may be small, but over time, they'll grow into a beautiful garden. And when you live within that garden of kind speech, your mind, emotions, and life itself will begin to change for the better. Words small as a breath can shift the course of a lifetime. A single word can lift someone up, offer hope, create connection, but it can also tear someone down, push them away, lead them astray. That's why virtuous speech is not some distant concept. It's a way of living, a form of awareness in every word, every breath we use to connect with the world. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. A well-timed silence is a form of speech, a message without words. That silence is not avoidance. It is a choice. A choice not to hurt. A choice not to add more chaos to a world already too loud. And within that silence, you may finally hear the voice inside you where peace, clarity, and compassion reside. The journey of mindful speech is the journey of self-transformation. Every word you choose is a reflection of the person you choose to become. You are shaping your character, your energy, and your future one word at a time. And the miracle is, you don't have to change everything in one day. You only need to start with one softer word, one well-timed sentence. And in that moment, you are already rewriting your destiny. We live in an era where words are thrown around too easily through social media, text, videos, comments. But because of that, virtuous speech has never been more important. Be a bright light in this noisy stream. Be the one who chooses to nurture, not destroy with every word. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, ring the bell, share it, and leave a comment saying, I choose to speak with virtue, because you deserve a peaceful life, one that begins with the very words you choose to speak today.